What's up, guys? This is That Shoobie. Welcome back to Official Anonymous Gaming. Today I made a C7 Z06 Corvette, and we're going to see how fast we can take it around the Nürburgring. We're going to get as close as we can to the fastest production car time around the Nürburgring, which is the Porsche 918 Spider, which is a four-wheel drive hybrid. Its time around the Nürburgring is a 6:57, and I did have a little bit of practice before this, and I'm telling you, it is a hard challenge to beat. I was consistently getting around the 703 range, 704, but we're gonna see how fast I can get it with some practice. This is a fully modded Corvette. I do have a tune on it, and I'll walk you through the tune. Alright, so PSI front is at 31, rear is at 28. The reason it's a little bit lower in the back is to give me a little bit more traction, because that's where all the power is, because this is almost 1,000 horsepower. This has eight gears, so the first, second, and third is what you're consistently going to be using. So you want those to be a bit longer, and honestly I should go ahead and make second and third just a tad bit longer. Now whenever you get into fourth, you do want it to be slightly longer than the other four gears, because whenever you're going around the track, you're usually going to be second, third, and fourth gear. So you don't want your tires to slip, considering we do have 1,000 horsepower just to the rear wheels. This is almost the basic setup. It actually starts you out with a negative 1.5 camber in the front, and negative, I'm wanting to say 1 in the rear. Toe, you want it to be straight. Rear, I put a little bit of toe in the rear, just because it keeps your rear end in place. Caster, it's kind of hard to explain caster. It usually starts you out at 5 degrees, but I bumped it up to 6. Anti-roll bars are so important in racing. You just kind of have to tinker with it to see what is the best tune for your vehicle and the way you drive. I can't give you a specific number, because it just depends on the way you drive, like I said. The Corvette does have a special suspension, but even though I modded it, I believe the suspension has similar characteristics about or on how the Corvette handles in the game. So it was somewhere in the middle. I'm wanting to say about 750 for both front and rear, but I bumped up to the 900. And in racing, you want the lowest center of gravity possible, so I always lower all of my cars. Same with the shocks. They were both somewhere a little bit lower on the softer end, but I bumped them up just a hair. This has a lot of downforce. You may have noticed it does not have a rear wing, but it does have a front splitter. It does not have a wing, but it does have a spoiler. And the spoiler in the game, which is weird, usually it's the wing that gives you more downforce, but the spoiler gives you more downforce. So we're going to stick with the spoiler. And I kept the braking force the same, even though you should have it around 60%. I have a very weak differential in the rear for acceleration, because whenever you're taking corners and you're on the gas, you don't want your rear end to slip out. And with a strong differential, that's exactly what happens. So you want it to be fairly weak, but you don't want it to be too weak, because then you'll just have all the power from one wheel. So we're gonna apply these, and we're gonna go for a lap on the Nürburgring at Nordschleife. Keep in mind I do not have any mods on, and I'll show you my assists. It's braking only for the suggested line. ABS is off, steering is normal, traction and stability control is off. I use manual with clutch. So we're gonna have at that. So let's do it. And this has no engine swaps. It does have a twin turbo instead of the positive displacement supercharger. You're probably going to notice I take some pretty weird lines. Sometimes that's on purpose, sometimes it's not, because this is one beast to control in the Nürburgring. A little bit of air right there. Oh no! Alright, got momentum. always have the hardest time around the carousel just because it's so bumpy. With the racing suspension, it's always supposed to be stiff, so those do not want to go together. all of that downforce works against me. So now it's causing drag. Downforce, whenever you have downforce, drag is always a factor. With no downforce, you have no drag, but it kind of multiplies as you have downforce. So it's weird to think of, but it does matter. Oh, got some cars. Alright. So let's go back and look at that race results. Yes, I like delivery. Alright. I ran a 7:04.976. That is not my best time, but it's pretty consistent with what I was running. My best time was a 7:02.03, and that's about as good as I can get it. But I'd have to say that's pretty good for paying, I don't know how much they are, maybe 90 grand, compared to whatever the price of a Porsche 918 Spider would be, which I believe is in the $1.5 million range. Let me look it up. Oh, no, it's not. It's $845,000, and it has 887 horsepower, which, I mean, that's still pretty dang good. But let me look up how much a C7 Z06 is. Yeah, it's $80,000. So, I mean, to be that close with that kind of price range, that's pretty crazy to think about. And that's one reason why I myself has a kind of a, not really a soft spot for Corvettes, but I mean, you can't really just factor them out of a rivalry, because they are the best bang for your buck, in my opinion. The GTR is pretty good too. I think it's very overrated, but it's at the same time it's very underrated, because I mean, it's about the same price as the Corvette, and it's nothing to laugh at. But anyway, guys, if you have any challenges or any suggestions or anything like that, just let me know. Comment below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the video. It really helps get our channel going, and really gives us the motivation to keep going. So anyway, thanks guys. Appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this, and we'll see you guys next time on Official Anonymous Gaming.